Well, Markee Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life. And why am I wearing these gloves? Well, it's because I am here today at a friend's house, and he is a collector of medieval weapons and armor. And so I am taking some of the story ideas, some of the comments and questions, and talking about them today here with, look at all these swords in the background. There's a lot of other stuff here too. I'm going to show you a couple. But the question is this guy, let's see, it's Implet's Cook Beans is his name. And Peanut Gallery back there is laughing about the name. So anyway, he says, when are you going to design an awesome MMORPG? I'm sure you can make a great game with so much knowledge and experience on games. You talk about needed customer support for games, but you don't realize that there are many players waiting to buy the potential of your future MMORPG. And then he goes on to say, I like the fact that you help others like Matthew, which is good because it shows that you care about your job and whatnot. And so he says, he's waiting behind his desk for my best. Okay, so anyway, you know, so let's talk about making a game and finding inspiration for that. And so what I grabbed here was a couple of swords, and let's just talk about these swords making the game. Let's design a game around these. And so what I've got here, okay, let me get back here a little bit. This is a pretty long sword here, and it's a pretty old sword as well. In fact, let me see how old this is. This sword is probably listed on the other side. It's a medieval sword, circa about 1440. And now, this is from a group of swords that was dredged up in France near the Battle of Castillon in 1453. And so this was in a battle in 1453. And let me show you this just a little bit closer up. Let's see if we can. Okay, I don't want to hit the ceiling with this. This is a pretty long sword. And okay, there we go. So now, you know, we've got so we've got this little history tag on here. Basically, this tells you know, something about the whole thing. But okay, so this sword, the handle here is missing, and that's because this was underwater and everything. And look at the you know, all the wear and tear on this. On this other side here, got some gold inlay and everything. Look at that stuff. It's kind of interesting. I don't know what those designs are, but anyway, this sword is pretty beat up. Now, this sword is known to have been in a battle, and so it was in that the Battle of Castillon. I don't think I'm pronouncing it right, but it was in that battle. And here's another one that was also it's a medieval sword, the Battle of Castillon, 1453, and so basically, let's make a video game based off of these. What do you think? And so, what about making a game that basically is, you know, medieval, 1400s, and is, you know, this epic battle that takes place, and you know, something like that. Now, do I want to make a game? No, not really. Do I want to be the lead person making a game? No. I want to play them a lot more than I want to make them. Now, am I willing to fund game development? Hell yes. In fact, I have funded Defense Grid 2. I have funded Carmageddon. I have funded, let's see, there's a couple more. I've done them all through Kickstarter. And in fact, I'll put a link to Kickstarter And I really enjoy doing Kickstarter projects. One, because you get a really good deal on when you are pledging the funds for a game, and because it can take like a year to get delivery of it, but at the same time you're voting with your dollars. And so what happens on Kickstarter is that people say, I want this type of game, because so they put up this stuff about what kind of game they're going to play and everything, and then you vote whether or not you are interested in that with your money, and you pledge. So I just got done doing Defense Grid 2, and I actually pledged more than the minimum on that. And they did something pretty interesting. They actually gave us a copy of Defense Grid right off the bat. And so when I pledged, the very next day, I got a message in the mail, in my email, with a couple of keys. One, because if you did like $15, then you got just the game. But if you did $30, you got all of the downloadable content after that. And so there was the Badlands and U Monster. And and then I get the game when it comes out as well. So, it's just really, really a good way for me to give my vote on assisting to make a game. Now, also, I thought about starting this series, and this series would be basically, did you see the kind of the test that we did that was auction house versus vendors? Well, that came about because of a game publisher who I've been talking with and giving my input on this MMORPG that they're creating, and they had that question, and it was really just a question asked of me, and I thought, well, you know what, it doesn't matter so much what I want, it matters what all of you want. And so I know what sounds fun to me, and I know what I think will work, but I want to give all of you a voice and kind of find out what's on your mind in that area. So we did that test one to where it was actually publisher asking the players, and we got a whole bunch of really great feedback. And you know what happened? The game publisher came back to me and it was like, holy cow, this is great information. And I can't say exactly what they're going to end up doing, but I can tell you what they said right at the beginning was it was either or. It was auction house or vendor. And then after this whole discussion that we did live, it turned into basically, is this a are you I'm just having a mental challenge here. Basically, it turned into auction house is good for some things and vendors are good for some other things. And they were thinking either or. I thought both. And so I got your opinion, and they come back and they were all excited. They were like going, okay, auction house for commodities and vendors for rare items or items that don't fit the norm of a commodity. And I thought, perfect. And I was so thrilled about that, because that is really, okay, so when you ask me about me designing a game, that is my input on designing a game. And I don't want to be responsible for the whole thing, but I want to play it, and I want to take what I know best, which is being a merchant in the games, and apply that. And then, since I'm here on camera all the time and everything, I can basically solicit all of you for your opinion, and the game publishers pay attention to that. So I think that maybe that'll become a series, some series of, publisher asks players or something like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. So if you're a game publisher and you'd like us to discuss a question you have for something you have in development or a quandary you have in a game, actually bring it to me, and we'll see if myself and all of the viewers can resolve it for you. Let us think outside the box. I've got some amazing tools for doing that, and I would love to show them on camera. So Anyway, that is my idea of making a game, is to be supportive of the games that catch my interest, that I want to play. And what better way than to support with your money up front? You get more bang for the buck, and the games that people want to play, that the majority of us want to play, they get made. So anyway, hope that answers your question. Thank you for that great question. And subscribe, and the reason is that you want to subscribe. If you made it this far, you may as well, because I've captured your attention this far. But we talk about all kinds of other things like this, but not only that, we're giving away a sword. 2 of them, in fact, not these 2. The swords that we're giving away is Frostmourne and a Runes of Magic sword, and just for being a subscriber. So subscribe to us, and you have a chance to win. Anyway, I'm Markee Dragon. Take care.